the zoning districts, and I talked, one of the key recommendations for one of the key policy directions in the plan was to support center development. And that was a major consideration in our evaluation of the zoning districts. The other thing was we took an independent look at the current zoning district lineup. There are 73 zoning districts in your current code. That's very, even for a county this size, that's a lot of zoning districts. Very few counties have that many zoning districts. Of those, in many of the districts, their intent is unclear, the results are unpredictable, or they have to be negotiated. They didn't really clearly reflect the different context in the county. So what we did was, taking that into account, along with an evaluation, for those of you that are interested, there's about 150 pages in an appendix in the report where we have an evaluation of each individual zone district. We look for overlap, where there were similar zones, where there were similar uses and similar standards. You only need one zone to achieve the same goal. So we also took that into account. The result of that is we took the current 73 zones to 43 zones, 25 base zones, 7 what we're calling planned development zones, and 11 overlay zones. We carried forward, for the most part, your overlay zones. We consolidated where we could a number of your base zones, primarily the commercial zones and the multifamily zones. And then the other sort of significant reduction and streamlining is in the area of the floating zones, the community design zones, the mixed use zones, the development district overlay, and the transit-oriented development overlay. These are what is called floating zones. There was a discretionary review. We felt like they could be consolidated. Many of them really were trying to achieve the same purpose. So we created what we're calling planned development zones, which is a consolidation of those those floating zones. In addition to, we've changed the names, and we are going to design these zones to support your new centers, regional transit districts, local centers, local transit centers, and neighborhood centers. That has resulted in a very significant reduction of your zones. We think a simplification, but a set of zone district regulations that is much more consistent with plan direction and will be much easier to use in the long haul. Finally, and this is also important, is we are suggesting a simplification of how your zones are laid out. We're going to use a much more graphically rich format. As you can see on the left slide over here, the left corner, that's an example of a zone district from another code we've done over the last few years. As you can see, it's 2 pages. It's not long. A lot of your zone districts are very lengthy. It's 2 pages. We've integrated 3-dimensional drawings, other graphics, the dimensional standards table for the zone, and photographs along with the purpose statement. But it's a much simpler layout, a much easier to understand layout, and that's the direction we're suggesting we go in with your districts. The other thing we're suggesting is and we got a lot of comments from throughout the community on this, is a simplification and reorganization of your use table. You have a tremendous number of footnotes right now. The uses, not all uses are defined. There are inconsistencies between some of the different use tables. So we are suggesting that that be clarified, simplified, and made more flexible.